Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's version of the Delightful Cooking Show. So this week we're gonna mix things up a little bit and we're gonna do something pretty unique and special. We're gonna be making our homemade pan-fried dumplings. Now, if you're new to this channel and kind of wondering what this is all about, a little bit of background, go check out the 3 videos before, but my girlfriend, Bailey Coates, most amazing singer, performer, entertainer, link to her Spotify in the description below, is moving out to California to pursue her dreams here in November. And so as a way for me to show my love for her while we're doing long distance, I'm gonna go ahead and make these videos because while she's a fantastic singer, songwriter, performer, she's helpless in the kitchen. And so for this week, I'm gonna be showing her how to make handmade dumplings from scratch, one of her favorite foods. So first thing we're gonna do and get started, we're gonna make the homemade wrappers. We have some all-purpose flour, we have some eggs. For the filling, we got chicken stock, half pound of ground pork, a beautiful portobello mushroom, half red onion, garlic, ginger, carrots, and some beautiful green onions. And we'll be mixing in some of our sauces. I got some rice wine vinegar, sesame seed oil, chili sauce, ponzu sauce, and of course, our soy sauce. And so while we get all this going, we're also going to be making our dipping sauce from scratch as well. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so let's get started on our dough. Now this recipe is super easy. Even somebody from California can do it. All you have to do, we're going to take 2 cups all-purpose flour, throw it in our bowl. Now, I'm not being exact right here, so I'm going to add about half a cup right here. Once we get our 2 cups of flour, I've already gone ahead and boiled about a cup of water. We're just going to add that in, just nice and slow. And then take our garlic salt. We're going to go ahead and just get a little bit of garlic salt in there just for that flavor of the dough really to shine. And then just a tad bit of sesame oil. Now with sesame oil, this is very strong, so be cautious when using it, okay? Don't add too much. So now, all we do, take our mixer. Just gonna mix this dough up. Make sure it gets nice and formed. So as you can see, it's already coming together really nicely. So I keep going right here until I get a nice ball that I can start kneading with my hands. So make sure to get all the excess flour on the sides. Get nice in there. Get all the crumpled pieces up. So what you have now, you have a nice ball of dough ready to be kneaded. All right, so now I've floured my surface. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my dough out, get in the bowl, all the dough that's left, and I'm just gonna start kneading this nicely into a ball. Just incorporating some more of that flour, keep it sticking to that surface. What you wanna do is you wanna knead this for about 10 minutes, okay? So you're just getting right here, folding it over, incorporating some of that flour, nice and smooth. And so the purpose of this is you want to have a really soft dough. And looking online, I was wondering, well, how soft do you want to have it? So you want it as soft as an earlobe, which is what most of the professional Chinese chefs say. So this just works the dough in, gets all your flour, water, sesame oil, salt, nice and incorporated. So in about 10 minutes, you're gonna have a beautiful ball of dough. All right, as you can see, it's been about 10 minutes and our dough is coming together beautifully now. I've incorporated all the flour we had right here on our counter, and now the dough is not even sticking to my hands anymore. And so as you can see, we have a beautiful dough that's soft, fluffy, and it has that good elastic feel to it. So that's the very important part about kneading it for about 10-15 minutes, is you want this dough to be completely malleable and basically just smush right there. So watch this. So press into it, as you can see, it starts to bounce back. That nice elastic feel to it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this rest for 2 hours. So get your bowl. I've already gotten 2 sheets of paper towels, nice and damp. And this is gonna create a nice moist atmosphere for our dough, where when it rests, it's gonna be nice and fluffy. It'll be nice and light, perfect for pot stickers. So go ahead and put your paper towel over it. Then we're gonna cover this, and in 2 hours, we're gonna have it ready to be rolled out and make perfect dumpling. All right, now we're ready to start with our filling for our dumplings. So to keep this video short, I've already gone ahead and done a majority of the prep work right now. I've already finely diced our green onions right here, our garlic, our actual onions, and our mushrooms up very nicely. And so 2 things to note. So with the green onion, I was using about 4 stalks, and I cut half of one, and I'm gonna put it aside to keep for our sauce later down the road. Same thing with our ginger. So what I already did is I already peeled it, and then I made little shavings like this to make sure we have very fine ginger cuts for our filling. So I'm gonna put the rest of this ginger aside for later. And as you can see right now, I did the same exact thing with our carrots. Now, we don't wanna just put it all in one bowl first. To get that really, really good flavor, what we're gonna do is with our filling, is we're gonna fry up our onions, garlic, green onions, ginger, and carrots together, and then put them with our pork and mushrooms. Now, mushrooms you can use a pound of pork if you'd like. I prefer using the mushrooms. Gives it a great earthy flavor, gets everything in that filling, and it doesn't make it so greasy if you use a pound of pork. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our shavings of ginger and carrots, stack them up, and just go through it with a knife real quick to make nice, fine chops. All right, so now that we have our carrots and ginger finely chopped, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take our mushrooms, add it to our bowl, right here, like so. Make sure we get all of them. And then we're gonna add our half a pound of pork that we have and just dump it right in there. Now, we're gonna wait until after frying all this up before mixing it. So what I wanna do is just take everything right here and get it nice and finely chopped. So don't worry about mixing all this together, because at the end of the day, what you're gonna have to do anyway is fry it all together. I just wanna make sure I get everything finely chopped so we're not having chunks of onion, garlic, whatever in our dumplings. So watch as I just kind of go through this with my knife. We'll fast forward to when we actually start frying all this up. All right, and as you can see, we got everything finely chopped right now. We're ready to fry all this up together. Now, just a quick side note, if you like this video and you're not Bailey and you came across it and you just thought, hey, it'd be kind of cool to see some guy just make dumplings, feel free to like, subscribe, but honestly, I don't give a flying shit. Honestly, guys, this is just for her. It's just something fun I'm doing with her, just to help her know that how much I love her. So, if you want to comment anything, I really don't care. If you don't like my cooking technique, I'm an amateur cook. I really don't give a shit. So, if you have nothing else better to do today, feel free to do it, but no, ultimately, I could care less. So, let's get started with frying this up. Now, I have a pan back there, I have about 2 tablespoons of oil, just heating up right now on medium-high, and we'll be ready to fry all this up and put it into our filling for our dumplings. All right, now that we have our oil nice and hot, we're ready to start with our filling. Now, it's important to note, we don't want this too hot, so I have it on about medium-high, more on the medium side right now. So this is to prevent anything from burning. What we want right now is that golden brown, perfect sear that you see in your onions and your garlic. So all we're gonna do right now, take everything in, and just put it in right here while it continues to heat up a little bit. So once I have everything in there, clean off my knife, then all I'm gonna do is take some garlic salt, take some pepper, just season it up a little bit, and have it ready for when it starts getting nice and golden brown, so it's ready for that filling. So I'm just gonna continually stir right here until we get it to golden brown. I have a plate with a nice paper towel. We want to drain off all the oil afterwards. That way our dumpling filling is not all just disgusting, heavy. We want it to be nice, light, flavorful. So I'm just gonna sear this down until it gets golden brown. We're ready to make our filling. 5-10 minutes, our veggie mix that's gonna go into our dumpling filling is golden brown. So we're gonna go ahead, put this to the side, let all that oil just drain off right there. veggies. We're gonna start making our filling, finishing up all the seasonings and everything we have. All right, so while this drains off, we're gonna go back over here to our workstation and we're going to continue making our dumpling mix. Now, we already have our ground pork and mushrooms in there. All we're gonna do, we got some rice vinegar right here. And take about 2 tablespoons of that. Just gonna do a little bit of soy sauce. Just a drop or 2 of sesame oil. Remember, this stuff's very strong, so you don't want to use a whole bunch or your whole dish is gonna taste like sesame oil. Now, a little bit of ponzu right here. A little bit of chili sauce for flavor. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our garlic salt, season well. We're gonna take our black pepper, and again, season our meat up. So, once we have that, now all we have left to do is to add our beautiful brown veggie mix. And what this does, it not only just gives it a great flavor, adds a little bit of oil to it, but also gets all that water out of your veggie mix, which is gonna be very key when making your dumplings. If you have too much water in that veggie mix in your dumplings, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have all that water start evaporating when you start cooking, cause your dumplings to pop. So now all we do, just mix this in real well. While we mix, we want to make sure we scrape the sides of the bowl, incorporate our veggies and our pork very well. Now, as you can see, our pork is still pretty chunky. It doesn't look like it's usable for dumpling mix. So what I'm going to do after I've incorporated everything is I'm going to go ahead, add an egg, then I'm going to use my mixer again to make sure we get that nice, fine dumpling mix. We're going to put our binding mix in with this egg. So this is going to allow that dumpling filling to stick together and hold very nicely. We're making our dumpling filling. And all we're going to do is take our mixer. We want to mix all this together. Now what this is going to do is going to make sure to ground up the pork even more. That's important. The reason why we want to have that is we don't want to have chunks of pork. We want to have that nice minced meat that you find in all dumpling fillings. So just take this for about a minute or 2. Make sure we get all our sides. Get our veggies nice and mixed in. Get all our seasoning. Get that egg nice and beaten in our mix as well. And in about a minute or 2, what you're going to see is that consistency is going to get a lot more solid. You're going to have everything mixed together very well. So you're going to have a perfect, even mixture of veggies and pork that is ready to go. So as you can see now, all I'm going to do is take a little bit of the stragglers on the sides, kind of work it in a little bit better. And look at that filling, y'all. That is perfect. And this is going to be absolutely delicious as a dumpling filling. All right, so we still have about an hour or 2 left with our dough. So we're gonna cover this, put it in the fridge and let it marinate. Let all that vinegar, soy sauce, ponzu, sesame oil, chili, salt and pepper really soak in nice and get this marinade started. So while we're doing that, we're gonna start on our sauce. All right, so for our sauce today, we're gonna do a similar thing from our last video for our meal prep and for our make your own pasta from home. We're gonna do more of a rice wine vinegar reduction, basically. And we're going to make a nice thick sauce, because I enjoy having a nice thick sauce. What you can though do if you want, for a nice little thin sauce, take about 3 parts ponzu, 1 part soy sauce, add your ginger and onion, and dash of sesame oil, perfect. But here, this is a sauce I made, and a sauce I really enjoy, so I hope you like it. So first off, I'm going to take about half a cup rice wine vinegar. Pour it into your pan. Then what you're gonna go ahead and do is add your ginger, your green onion. Now I already went ahead and I used my peeler to make nice thin strips of ginger and chopped up my green onion very fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. And this sauce is gonna go for a while. So the reason why we're putting it early is we get that nice ginger, green onion flavor in there as well. So all I'm gonna do, add just a little bit of sesame oil. And add about a half a cup of soy sauce. Making videos for you, baby. While this is pouring, cause it's taking forever. So I've got it. Got our ponzu. We're gonna add about a half a cup of that as well. And I'm going to be singing for you. Cause I got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. After adding that, we're going to end up doing, taking our sweet chili, just add a little bit of this. You don't want to add too much, or it's going to cut us all the flavor of the sauce. So again, a little bit of garlic salt, a little bit of ground black pepper, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our chicken stock right here. This is going to give you a lot of the flavor of that sauce. So I'm just going to do another cup of chicken stock. And what I'm going to do is turn my heat up all the way. I'm going to bring this to a boil first. And so then once it gets to a boil, I'm going to reduce the heat all the way down to a simmer. I'm just going to let this go while we get the rest of our dumplings prepared. We'll come back later and check on our sauce. Alright, now all our hard work is done. We got our filling marinated, got our sauce looking beautiful right now. Then we got our dough rising. Got about another hour and a half before we're ready. But really, there's nothing much left to do. Except chill out, put our feet up, watch some football, baby. Now, with that dough and filling, it's gonna last you about a week. So if you want to do all the prep work now, wait a couple days, go ahead, just make sure you put your dough in the refrigerator. That sauce is going to last you as long as you want it to. It's going to be a beautiful sauce, it's just going to get better and better with age. So, while we wait, we're going to make sure to check on our sauce. It's on low heat right now, stir it occasionally, but other than that, just let everything go. Hang out, relax. Now I'm going to send it over to future JD to finish up this video. Thanks, Pastor JD. Now, it's time to get serious. Let's get back, making our dumplings. It's been 2 hours. As you can see, we have a perfectly rested ball of dough. So now we're going to go ahead and make our dumpling wrappers. Now, the salt on my surface, got a lot of flour right there. Don't want this to stick at all. So I'm going to be using this. We're going to knead the dough for about 10 more minutes. Just to make sure we get everything nice and firm before we roll it out and make our wrappers. So now we have our dough nice and kneaded. What we're going to do, fold it up in the middle, flip it over. Now we're just going to take our rolling pin, roll it out in a nice large circle. Now, some videos you're going to see is you're going to have this dough rolled out individually, little chunks. Now, I tried that yesterday, and if you're new to this, it's a little bit difficult to get it just right. Get the shape and the thinness just right. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to roll out just one long sheet. I'm going to use my trusty cutting tool off my protein powder to just make individual dough shapes. So, go ahead and continue rolling this dough out. Get started. Now, what I'm going to do is just add a little flour on top before cutting, just so it doesn't start sticking. And we have our individual little dumpling wrappers. We'll put it onto this plate. Put a little flour on it as well, just so nothing sticks. Now, I'm just going to take this and just cut out individual dumpling scrap I have left over, I refold, re-roll out. That way I'm not wasting anything. I'm getting as much value for my wrappers as possible. Now, you don't want to be too fine with this, just gotta get all your circles nice and in place. And now we're gonna have some video magic to speed it up so you get to see me do this. Now for the fun part. Now we're gonna make our individual dumplings. So I'm gonna show you a few different ways to roll up your dumplings, a couple things I've seen on the internet. All of them work spectacular. One works great. I'm just giving you a few options. Get a little fun, a little bit of creativity with it. So again, I'm gonna show you how to do 3 different types of wrapping real quick, and then we're gonna have another speed up montage as I finish the rest. So first, take our wrapping right here, take a spoon, you want to put just a little bit of a dollop in there. You don't want to put too much, you don't want to overfill. So just get here. First one, you're gonna fold in the middle right here by filling down. Now I'm gonna push the filling in on the sides a little bit, put a little bit too much. Take the side right here, fold it in. Take the other side, fold it in. And then press on the sides like this. That's the first way we can make a dumpling. Now you see, a little bit too much filling in, it's not coming out the sides. So I'm gonna have to push that in a little bit. Make sure we get a good seal on our dumpling so it doesn't explode and get all that nice filling out. So that's our first option. Second option, do the exact same thing. Put our filling in. Right here. It's going to be more of a traditional looking dumpling. We're going to fold it in the middle right here. Take the edge right here. Fold it in. Take the corner. And crinkle it right here. Take the corner. Fold it around. Same thing here. Fold it on the side. Get that nice crinkle. We'll move that corner around right here. So it should look like this. Okay, last option. Tried and true method. We're gonna add our filling in. All we're gonna do, start again, putting it in the middle. And all you do is crinkle it as you go. So, where you see what I'm doing right here? So I'm taking the edge, pushing it together, and I'm folding it on itself right here to make sure that we get that good seal. So go ahead and do this all the way down. Make sure our filling stays in. Keep crinkling all the way, folding over. Got a perfect dumpling. All right, now watch the rest as I speed this. As you can see, we still have a good bit of filling left over. We've probably used about 3/4 of what we made, and that equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, about 20 dumplings so far. So if you want to double that recipe, use the rest of the filling for later, or this filling's just good as it is. Just put it in a skillet, put some oil, just fry it up real nice, put some rice, pasta, whatever. Anyway, let's get on to the 2 different methods we're going to be covering today to make these dumplings. So now's the exciting part. Now we're gonna actually make our dumplings. So I have 3 different ways to do it. One's deep fried, one's your traditional pan fried, and then we have a steaming option. And I'm gonna show you with the remaining dumplings we have. So first off, we got our oil on medium high. We've let it go for about 5-10 minutes to make sure it's nice and good, so when we put it in, it's gonna be golden brown. So all we're gonna do, take our dumplings, drop them in, and let them go. Now the important thing to note is you want to watch this, okay? They sink to the bottom, they're gonna cross over, and they're gonna get stuck, okay? So make sure you keep turning them, make sure we get that golden brown color on our dumplings, okay? So, now we have 5 dumplings going. Make sure we move them around the oil a little bit. And soon we'll have some perfectly on each side. And as you can see, these things are golden, freaking brown. Look at that. Look at that beauty. All right, so now we're gonna take them off our oil. Put them on this paper towel and let them drain for a few minutes. We'll be ready to go. The next thing we do while we're waiting is we're gonna prepare our next dumpling method for pan frying dumplings. Number 2 is actually a pretty cool one. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start off by just covering the bottom of our pan with oil. Again, medium-high heat, get it nice and hot. And what we're doing before we start is we made this little slurry mix. Now this is 2/3 cup of water to 1.5 tablespoons of flour. So what this is gonna give you is just this beautiful, nice crust on the bottom. Get a perfectly steamed dumpling, and it's a little bit best of both worlds between steamed and fried. So first, got my oil hot. Turn that down a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead, put my dumplings in, right here. I'm gonna try to get them kind of close-ish together. I want to let that go for about 30 seconds, okay? Now this video is gonna be a little longer because I want to show all the steps together, just so there's no confusion. So, I get my oil going. I'm gonna wait for about 30 seconds. I'm gonna get it golden brown. We're gonna move on to the next step. Seconds are up. Our bottoms are starting to get golden brown. I'm gonna go ahead, move the dumplings a little bit to make sure they're not sticking to the bottom of this pan right here, okay? So just make sure we're not sticking. Still getting that golden brown. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our slurry mix made earlier, give it one last mix. Very carefully, tilt the pan to the side, get the oil away from the water. We will pour our slurry mix to the bottom of this pan until it covers about the bottom of the dumplings right there. Okay? Our next step, we're gonna put it on our top, raise our heat up a little bit. As you see right here, we're still at a medium high, a little bit on the high side right here. And we're gonna let this go for about 2. All right, so 2 minutes are up. What we're gonna do now is uncover. What's nice about this recipe is that starch on the bottom of the dumplings is going to crystallize as all the water evaporates off. So we're going to let this sit a little bit, wait for all that water to go up, and wait for that crust on the bottom to turn golden brown. And I'll show you that your dumplings are done to perfection. This is the way it goes. Brown right there. So let's take a look. See how we did. Okay, we got to scrape a little bit, make sure we get that crust underneath the gold. Look at that. So, second way. Next way we're going to move on is how to steam water. So this is our final option. So right now, I'm going to have my frying rack right here for my air fryer. Go ahead and go to the bottom. Make sure they don't stick while we steam them. So what we're going to do is place it in here in the Dutch oven. I'm going to get about 4 or 5 cups of water, just enough to get to the bottom right here. I'm going to let it bring to a boil. Some oil to steam it off. I'm going to put my lid on top of it. That way, we can steam our dumplings. Perfect. So right now we got water and boiling boil, and you can see the steam's already coming out. So what we're going to do, put my top on. Ready to look at this. these are delicious, nutritious, and a great way for any game day, just a little gathering, whatever you have. So anyway, let's try them out. First, we're going to steam, sauce. That feeling so good, so rich. Let me show you a little bit of our sauce right here. Now it's not too thin, not too thick like our reduction. It's cooked just right. That is good. All right, let's try our pan fried real quick.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Turn this room, turn it to an ocean. Let me float around. Eyes closed, like we're dreaming even when we're not. You and me got a whole lot of meaning, I don't know how. You and me just know how it feels when we're falling in love. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now.